I've never really done a video like this, but I know that one of my favorite things to watch from other people that I see on YouTube is just their get ready with me kind of videos where you really feel like you get to know people. I guess I just thought it was time for my audience to get to know a little bit about me, so I figured I would do just kind of a relaxed video. It's not really about anything, I guess it's just kind of a getting to know me, where I am in life, and all that kind of good stuff. So, anyway, this is the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer that I'm using right now. I love this stuff. I'm going to end up having to actually buy the big tube. I'm so cheap, I do not want to pay for that, but it is really good. I really do like it, so. I guess that's a little bit of my philosophy. I don't like to spend money on things that it doesn't really seem to make a difference, but at the same time I like to, I guess, experiment to see what does make a difference. So just understand that if I ever recommend a product that's like pricey, it's because I really think it's worth its price. Because, I don't know, I was a broke college student for a lot of years. Not anymore. If you hear me talk about my students, I'm a professor, so I teach engineering, and so I guess that's the other side of my character, and kind of why, I guess, where LadyChainWallet came from, is just kind of because I'm such a girl in such a guy's world. I don't know, I'm not, I guess, your typical girly girl or whatever. I don't know how to describe that, but I'm just talking. So I'm going to do some makeup now. I talk all the time. Like, I talk for a living. I don't know why this makes me nervous. I guess just because I'm actually talking about me. Like, normally I'm talking about makeup or a product, or even when I'm talking about, like, oh, I have these lines here and, you know, stuff like that, it just doesn't seem the same as, or is, foundation here. It just doesn't seem the same as, I guess, talking about myself. And I'm not really very good at talking about myself. So, I talk all the time. I don't mind talking in front of people, but that's talking about engineering or talking about makeup or whatever. It's not really the same talking about me. But, yeah. So I'm a professor, and that's a really rewarding job. It's also a huge time commitment and a giant pain in the neck. So, you know, not everybody would want to do what I do, but I really enjoy it. I guess I'm a good engineer, but I'm an even better teacher, so I guess teaching was kind of my calling. I work at a non-research university because I didn't want to be in the research rat race. I think that people doing research are doing great things, but there's a lot of headache and politics that come along with it, and frankly the teaching was always the thing that I cared more about, so it's not that I'll never do research, but it's just a little bit of a different circumstance where I am, and I really like it a lot better. I get to focus on my students, and so this summer is hopefully some downtime and some time for me to, I don't know, find myself and find a flow for my life. This year I really kind of fell apart. I've suffered with depression for years, and I guess this year is the first time it got bad enough that I actually sought help, and it's been an experience. It's been helpful, definitely. To be honest, it's a lot of why I actually started this YouTube channel. It was just an outlet. a chance to actually embrace some of the other parts of me, because I'm an engineer so much of the time, and I don't really try to spend time on just me. I feel guilty for it, like I should be working, or it's something I'm working through. But thank you all for your support, because it has meant a lot. It really has helped through this process. And yeah, we're not going to get into all that. I'm sure I'll share more as it goes, but thank you. Understand that it really means a lot to me. Okay, I'm doing makeup now. Sorry, this is my Dewy and Smooth in 110. This is one of my favorite foundations kind of ever. It just gives a nice, like, glowy look, good coverage, enough said. So. And also, I think it's like $8, something like that, so it's really affordable, drugstore option. Yeah, but that's kind of my philosophy too in my videos. I like to get a deal on things, because, I mean, there were a lot of years, where even, a $5 eyeshadow was a splurge, I know where it's, I know what it's like to come from being a broke college kid, So, I still like to investigate, the more reasonable options, and I guess that's part of my thing, is I like to prove to myself, I guess, as well, that a product that's, kind of pricey is actually, like, worth the price, if it actually makes a difference. Like, for instance, I am using a Sigma Flat Kabuki F80. I love this brush. The internet loves this brush. I put off purchasing this brush for a long time. This is a $25 brush. One brush, $25. But it really does give a nice finish to my foundation. Tools. So, I'll spend the money where it makes an actual difference. But at the same time, I like to try different products and see which ones actually do make a difference and which ones there's a perfectly good substitute, a perfectly good alternative to it that isn't a bajillion dollars. What are you doing, Shammy? What are you doing? Dog on the floor. You coming up? My rotten girl. Yeah. I don't have any kids. At least not yet. Life hasn't calmed down enough for that. And yeah, I just don't think I'm quite ready for that yet. I know I need to be getting on that. I'm not getting any younger, but that's life. What are you shivering for? Huge. Rotten dog. Alright, let's have some concealer. You can't get in the way, or you gotta sit down. Lay down. Alright, that'll work too. This is my Tarte Shape Tape. This is one that I'm torn on, because it is really, really good for the price. Or really, really good, but it is pricey. And there's a reason why the internet loves this stuff. But it is $27 a tube, so I love it, but I still tend to use it kind of sparingly. Do you still like to do this with sponge? This is our first ABET accreditation this year, and for those of you who aren't familiar with engineering accreditation, it's the engineering accreditation board. And yeah, so that's kind of a big deal to get our accreditation this year. And so we have a lot of, I need to quit saying and so. That's a habit I need to get. Anyway, that's a big deal, and that's a lot of stuff that we have to work on. My husband and I. Not me and the voices in my head, you know. No, I work with my husband. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody gets the opportunity to do that. Not everybody would want to, but I do. We've kind of always worked together, so it works for us. You know, it does mean that you always take work home with you, but we really wouldn't have it any other way. At least I know I wouldn't. It's a good time. Browse my standard formula here. Anastasia Brow Tip Pomade, medium brown, and my V10 BH Cosmetics eyebrow brush. I love this brush. I used to use an e.l.f. brush for this, but I got this one and I never looked back. This one's a really good brush. But like, that's a good example. You can pay a lot more for an eyebrow brush, but this is a really good one. And I think, now it's a set of 2. Find the other one. Yeah, I have all my stuff in drawers on either side, so I'll have to do a video on my setup at some point in time, but not today. Yeah, but it comes with the V13, so you get kind of like your carving brush, your highlighting brush, your brow brush, and your spoolie. And the set of the 2 brushes here, they're both double-ended, I think it's $5. It's a very, very affordable brush. And it works really well. So you're going to have to ignore my nails. They're in the process of, yeah, they need painted, but they're in the process of kind of growing out and revamping, because I know you guys have seen my previous videos where I had the acrylics on, the claws. I'd been doing those with the dip acrylic, but I had a lot of trouble with that stuff lifting. Now, I don't know if I was using the wrong primer. I was definitely roughing up my nails, the whole 9 yards, blah, blah, blah. But I just had a lot of trouble with them lifting, and I kept having to redo them, and they just kept stripping layer upon layer off of my nails, which is murder on your nails, and I have thin, crappy nails anyway, because if I didn't, I wouldn't need acrylics. So I'm in the process of letting those grow out, looking for another option. And I like the look of acrylics. I'm not going to go to the salon and have that done. That's too much money for me. It's like 40 or 50 bucks around here at least. It's like 40 or 50 bucks every couple of weeks. Like, I just have better things to spend money on. Like, that's going to be gone in no time. They're just going to grow out. That doesn't last. And I guess that's a thing that I really hate too. I hate spending money on things that are intangible, things that don't make a difference to me, things that don't last. So going and spending money on nails is just not a thing I like to do. It's why I do my own hair too. Well, one, I'm an engineer, so I'm a control freak. Let's just tell the truth. That's how I am. So is my husband, so we're an interesting pair. Nevertheless, he's also an engineer, so there you go. But I have had so many bad salon experiences. I've had good ones too, don't get me wrong, I have. But they're all costly, and it's hit or miss, honestly. Even if you're going to somebody that you know and trust, stuff just goes wrong. But you never feel as kicked as when you'd like spent $200 to get your hair screwed up and it took you all day sitting in a chair to do it. at least if you're doing it yourself, you only have you to blame, and it, you know, at least you feel like, well, that's my fault. So I'm kind of sad about my rose gold. That stuff did not stay. I mean, it was a toner. I knew it wasn't going to stay too long, but it really didn't stay. So I've got a little bit of the pink left, but really not too much there. A little bit on the underside. But we're going to be looking for the next color. I'm between going to mint green. My husband wants me to do it mint green. Or, yes, I'm a professor with a nose ring and pink hair, mint green hair, whatever. My students love it. My administration would probably prefer I didn't do that, but hey, they gave me tenure, so apparently they don't care. Apparently I'm doing a good enough job that they didn't want to fire me, so that's cool. But as far as the next color, I'd had it gray for a long time, and I really, really like it gray, although that color has all of its own hang-ups. Gray is a really tough color. It always has a tendency to want to turn green, purple, or blue, because every color, every product that you use that doesn't, well, even the ones that destroy your hair. I first ended up with a pixie cut. Gray hair was kind of the reason that happened, actually. I'd been bleaching it for years and kept it long, and it was fine, and the long and blonde was fine. But then I decided to go to long and gray, and I got into, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to bash anything, but I got into some over-the-counter toners that do make your hair gray, but they have a ton of ammonia in them, and making mustard gas on your head is not really a very good way to keep hair. So I had a lot of breakage. It was, you know, this is nothing. Like, don't get me wrong, the ends of this are still kind of a mess because I had some other products that really kind of did a number here. So that's part of why this section actually held the color a little bit. Even in that video you could see it. And then the ends didn't, so it's still going to be a long process, but you can get cut. Just trimmed up, shaped up, but I may do that this week. Anyway, so I had a lot of damage, and it was keep wearing a chemical pixie or just cut it off and own it. So that's how it ended up really short. And I don't recommend that process. But consequently, you need to be pretty careful with how you do your gray, if you're doing gray. If I decide to go back to gray, I'll definitely make a video for that. I found a few products that work pretty well. None of them so far that have been exactly perfect. For one thing, it's kind of like the pink. It doesn't stay. You have to maintain it. You have to have like a color deposition shampoo to keep it up. There's a lot of headache and heartache that goes into silver hair, and anybody who's had it, I'm sure, will vouch, whether they've had it done at a salon or they've done it themselves. It's a process. But I might do that one. I think I might do mint green first, although then I'll at least know why my silver is pulling a bit of a green cast. But my husband wants me to do it mint green, and I haven't had it. It's one of the few colors I haven't had it yet, so that might very well be on the slate. I haven't decided yet. Alright, I'm gonna use my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I had to teach myself how to say that word, or the internet had to teach me how to say that word. Oops. So, see, I'm edumacated now. An engineer, we don't know words, things. Yeah, cover that up. Oh, and I would like to point out that is a chemical burn. I don't know how it happened, but when I did the rose gold, and that's what's left of it, when I did the rose gold, apparently I had a little stripe of the developer that was still back here, and I didn't realize it, and when I just rinsed my hair, apparently I just managed to miss that. So it sat like that basically all night. That's a problem.
So I woke up and I had a nice chemical burn back here. So that's going to leave a cool scar or not. I'm trying to avoid that, but it was actually easier to cover up when it still had the scab because at least the stuff would stick in it. I know, that's gross. It's true though. I tell it like it is. That's what I do. Alright, let's paint some face on. It was so hard to learn to speak in front of the camera. I mean, I guess I still am, clearly. But I know, I look back at my Brazil palette video, and even in this short period of time, I'm still astounded at how far I've come. And I still have a long way to go. I'm not saying it that way. But at the same time, I was petrified of being in front of the camera, and I had such a tough time cutting that video and making it into anything. I almost didn't post it, but I knew if I didn't post the first video, then I would set a precedent that nothing was good enough, because that's just kind of the way I am, and that's why I was hesitant to even start the YouTube channel, because nothing's ever good enough. I don't know. I never feel like mine is where everybody else's is, and it isn't. There's so many talented people on YouTube, and I hope to one day be half as good as I don't know, anybody. But I appreciate the outlet. Alright, this is my butter bronzer, my, let's see, Physicians Formula butter bronzer in the light color. They just call it light bronzer. But as you can see, it's not that light. It's a good bronzer. And I know a lot of people like a more natural look, but I have no cheekbones. I like to paint on my cheekbones, folks. If you don't like to do that, you don't have to. It's just what I like. It's makeup. There are no rules. There are polite suggestions, and even those you're going to violate. So, you know, make it your own. Just be happy. That's what I'm trying to do. Just learn to be happy. That's all anybody really wants in life. Cheers. Yes, I drink too much coffee, and yes, my teeth are therefore yellow because of it. I'm working on it. They're whitening up, I'm working on it, but don't hate. Everybody's got their stuff. Alright, I'm going to do a whole slew of the Physicians Formula, so I'm going to do my butter blush, and then I'm going to do my butter highlight. I actually have the pearl version of this one in my cart on Ulta as well, because I love this one, but it has a bit of a blue cast, so some days I don't want that, but today I don't care. Today I don't care if it's iridescent. I really like it. It's probably bad, but some days I just like the single colors like this. There's not as much choice. You pull out a palette like this, and it's like, oh, but which one do I want? Some days I just want to go, oh, it's this color. This is what we're doing. You're just trying to throw on some makeup and get out the door. No, I don't do this every day. I'll have to show you guys a what I actually do in the morning kind of video to show you, you know, my get out the door routine. Because I live an hour from where I work. An hour commute's not really that strange of a thing, I know, especially for engineers. Usually we work in cities, and no one can afford to live in cities, so even if you live just on the outside of the city, and it would be 10 minutes as the crow flies. Yes, I'm from West Virginia, and we say as the crow flies. Even if it would be 10 minutes as the crow flies, it's an hour by the time you wade through traffic at 7:30 or whenever everybody's going in at work. So
I do have to drive an hour. I do have to, do all of that, but in a way it's a good thing, in a way it's a bad thing. It does give you some separation. When I worked closer to my home, I just found myself staying later and working later and going in more often, more frequently. So working an hour from home causes you, it does mean that you bring things home more, but you do also learn to work remotely. And that's just in this day and age kind of a good thing to be able to do. So whatever. Okay. Let's do some soft glam. I really like this palette. It's been a good go-to. Been just kind of gravitating to that here lately. My normal Urban Decay primer. I heard somebody in a video the other day making fun of this stuff. Like, oh, I haven't heard that stuff. I haven't seen that stuff in years. I still like it. Say what you want. And I know some people prefer a stickier primer. They like the MAC paint pots are pretty popular as a eyeshadow base. I know, but which those aren't really any more expensive than this stuff. This is like $22 a tube. I think those are $22 or $24 for one of their little tubs, and they're as big as one of these. I paid $18 for that. So to each his or her own. This poor brush is about ready to have to be retired. Like I can feel it just like wiggling. This is an e.l.f. just, I don't know, fluffy blending brush. It doesn't have a name. I'm sure it had a name at some point, but it's not on it. And I don't remember what it was. I'm going to be sad when this one dies though, because I really like this brush. And I've looked for a replacement, and I don't think they make one anymore. Or at least they've changed. I don't know. e.l.f.'s done a lot of stuff. They've changed a lot of things. And I'm impressed and proud of their brand because they really have upped their game from being like the super cheap makeup to actually just a really good, affordable option. Another brand that I really am impressed with and proud of is Wet n Wild. They really have, they've always been a good brand. I can remember Wet n Wild products from when I was like a little girl looking for lip smackers. It's those, I know they've been around for a long time, but they really have stepped up their game in recent years, and I have to say I'm very impressed with Wet n Wild. So yes, I'm kind of eccentric as a professor goes, but my students like it. And it's actually a useful marketing tool I've found. It's probably bad to say, but I do a lot of volunteer outreach kind of things, like the robotics competition I was at this weekend, which is a blast. They're exhausting, but they're a blast. I have people come up to me and ask about the program and what we teach and all that kind of good stuff. But I have found that it makes me more approachable, both by the students and by the parents. I guess it's an icebreaker for the students that not too straight-laced. But then at the same time, even the parents, I've not really had anybody taken aback by my appearance or anything like that. I've really not been met with anything but respect, which is another reason I really like where I work and what I do. But the moral of the story is people don't mind to approach me because I'm very distinctive. How many professors have pink, blue, mint, silver, whatever, name it. Some pretty easy to find. But again, it's an icebreaker, so it works. And also, I like it. It's just kind of how I am, so. I'm not into being something I'm not. This combination has really also upped my lower lash line game. This is a Use Spicy. It's just a cheap little angled brush, but it is nice and stiff, so it does a good job getting right in there under the lashes. And for kind of smoking it out and blending it out, great. Thank you. Watch thing. This is a BH Cosmetics V16. This is one of their vegan brushes. These are actually really good. I really like all of these. I've got all or most of the complete set. I haven't got to the numbers. Anyway, but just the V16. It's kind of flat, dense, short brush. So you can get just right in there and smudge that out and get that good line. I don't know, I find that with a lot of brushes, on me at least, if I go too far down, a lot of people can really wear dense under eye eyeshadow. I look like I have dark circles if I do that. It just doesn't look good on me. So I like to carry the eyeshadow down and give the color down there, but I don't want it to go too low because then I'm going to look like, I don't know, somebody punched me in the face. That's, you know, not necessarily what you're going for there. And this combination has really helped me achieve the right balance of that. So I've really been enjoying those here lately. What color? I'm glad the winged liner is in. Just so you know, I will be doing winged liner long after it's a thing, because I've been doing winged liner since always. I don't know. Since I was like 14 or something. Just make sure eyes look better. I always knew this. I'm just glad everybody else caught up. Call me a trendsetter. Yeah, whatever. Alright. You've got big eyeliner, you need big lips, so what's next? This is the NYX Liquid Suede in Vintage. Alrighty. That's my lipstick done. And this is my Benefit Bad Gal Bang. This stuff is very, very good. And annoyingly expensive. Oh, I was actually looking, because the full-size tube, I have a tiny little tube. I'm going to end up with a big tube. I really am. But this one's still going. But I was paying attention, and it's a big old tube that they put it in. So I thought, oh, well, you know, it's expensive, and maybe you do at least get more product for it, though. No, you don't. This is my Rimmel full-size tube. It's the only full-size I have in my drawer right now. But this is a 12 milliliter tube. The package tube is larger on the Benefit. Like the tube itself is larger, but there's only 8.5 milliliters of product in it. So it's a big old tube, but it actually has less product in it. So it's just they're just trying to be deceptive, which irritates me, frankly. I don't like when things are misrepresented. So Benefit, you can do better than this. But unfortunately, I will be buying it anyway, because it's just really good mascara. And as you all know, on a daily basis, I'm going to work, I'm not wearing falsies. I don't really like falsies. They're just such a hassle. So I want a good mascara. I do wear falsies on my videos sometimes, but sometimes I don't. But let's tell the truth. I wear falsies on my videos, and the few times I actually get to like go out and do something. That is not a daily occurrence. So, a good mascara means a lot more to me. And sadly, I really like this stuff. And it's expensive, and it's a deceptively small tube, and it's annoying, and I'm irritated at them for it, and I'm still gonna buy it. So, anyway. So there's my makeup done, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope that it helped, I don't know, I guess, let you get to know me a little bit better. Because I know that that's something that to me is valuable with the people that I enjoy watching on YouTube, is getting to know who they are as real people. And I want us to have the same bond, so I hope that this helped. Lipstick teeth. I hope that this helped just answer some questions and be more comfortable and all that kind of good stuff. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to make more of these, please let me know in the comments. Again, please give me likes and subscribes and all that stuff, because I'm still new and I can't even schedule videos until I have 100 subscribers. Thank you, YouTube. Anyway, so I appreciate you watching this video, and I really truly appreciate all of your support. It really has helped, and that's okay, enough said, and I'll see you in my next video.